You guys, if you have become regulars around here on the channel, you know as well as I do that we have been covering so many teams across the entire league over the course of this offseason. As with every NBA offseason we encounter, there are so many different big moves that we can discuss, dissect, and get into. And for the most part, I think it's safe to say that we have covered most of the headliners over the last couple of weeks. However, there's been one NBA team on my mind over the last couple of weeks that I have been waiting to discuss with you guys that didn't necessarily make any of the biggest moves that the media is obsessed with, but all in all, I really do feel everybody needs to take a deeper look into this roster and realize what they have done. And yes, you've probably figured out that we are talking about the team that just made their first NBA Finals appearance in 28 years, which is none other than the Phoenix Suns. What we all need to understand about this team and what we might not know about them is what we are going to be getting into in today's video. One sec if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those noties to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. For real, if y'all are liking the content, I'm highly encouraging you to hit that button, because according to the numbers, around 99% of you guys that are coming back to watch this content aren't even subscribed yet. No, you don't have to, but if you do, thank you so much. But anyways, let's get back into this. Now again, this Phoenix Suns team didn't make the biggest headlines or any headlines at all in terms of their free agency moves. However, regardless of that fact, this team still had one of the most interesting situations to look at out of any NBA team across the league, because we are looking at a team in the Phoenix Suns who finished the 2021 season with a 51-21 overall record, netting them the second seed in the Western Conference. And this team definitely earned the position that they got, as they finished the season with a 116.3 offensive rating, which in fact was the 7th best across the entire league, a 110.4 overall defensive rating, which was 6th in the league, resulting in an overall team net rating of plus 5.9, which was 3rd in the entire NBA, and obviously got them a trip to the NBA Finals. And do you want to know what the craziest part is about all of this overall team success that I just read off to you about the Phoenix Suns? It's the fact that even with this team essentially returning the core of their entire roster, minus the departure of Torrey Craig to the Indiana Pacers, it seems that the entire NBA world was continually sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for this Phoenix Suns team to make a blockbuster type of move to somewhat improve. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure every Phoenix Suns fan watching this video would have absolutely loved for the team to make a blockbuster move and bring in a new star to improve the team. You know, this seems to become more obvious year by year that with every NBA offseason comes unrealistic expectations from almost every franchise. And an unrealistic expectation that many neutral NBA fans had was the idea that somehow the Phoenix Suns were going to improve profoundly in the blink of an eye, which, and I think most Phoenix Suns fans can agree with me when I say this, was never really in the team's picture. Just for the sake of keeping everybody in the realm, let's go over the Phoenix Suns' quick and brief free agency moves in 2021, as they were able to re-sign backup point guard Cam Payne to a 3-year deal worth $19 million, which, I don't care how you spin it, was an absolute steal for the Phoenix Suns. Top of that, obviously their biggest move, which was also kind of expected, was the re-signing of Chris Paul to a 4-year deal worth $120 million. And then, of course, they were also able to steal JaVale McGee away from the Denver Nuggets to a 1-year $5 million deal. And lastly, they also brought back Abdel Nader to a 2-year deal worth $4.1 million. Now, getting into these free agency pickups, again, they were not groundbreaking by any stretch of the imagination. However, what most people don't understand is that almost every single one of these signings are key and essential to see continual improvement from the entire roster. Start off with the point guard re-signings of both Chris Paul and Cam Payne. I think it's obvious to everyone that this was a necessity. Coming off of the end of the 2020 season, the Suns were adamant in adding that extra piece that would put this overall team over the hump, and Chris Paul, for the majority of the previous season, proved to be that guy that made this team that much better. Sure, if you want to look at it in the fact that Phoenix gave a 36-year-old point guard $120 million over 4 years, it doesn't look the best. I also think people need to understand that Chris Paul isn't the typical 36-year-old NBA player. Adjustments to his style of play over the course of his entire career have allowed him to play to greater lengths than a typical person at the age of 36 would. And I also think it's obvious that a player like Chris Paul will continue to do this over the next couple of years and improve the team as much as he physically can. Now, I really don't think it matters what the age of Chris Paul is, especially when he comes off of a season averaging 16.5, 4.5, and 9 per game, while also being just shy of the 50-40-90 club. You'll do whatever it takes to retain this player and keep up the success you've been seeing. Then, you guys, to get into Cam Payne, I'm going to keep it short and simple. This team got an absolute steal for a diamond in the rough finding. Sure, when you look at the numbers, he only averaged around 9 points, 2.5 rebounds, and just under 4 assists per game, with some pretty impressive shooting splits as well of 48.5% from the field, 40 44% from 3 and 89% from the free throw line. This man stepped up in some of the biggest ways you could possibly ask for this Phoenix Suns team over the course of their playoff run. To retain him for around $6 million a year over 3 years, I will say it again, is an absolute steal. Then we have the last big signing in my opinion, which is of course JaVale McGee. For anyone who this is not obvious to yet, JaVale McGee is adding to a major part of the Phoenix Suns game that was relatively lackluster through their playoff run and might have costed them a championship in the long run. If you haven't guessed it yet, it's size. Outside of DeAndre Ayton, this team was hurting heavily in terms of big men capable to play major minutes, and I do know that Dario Saric was a pretty decent piece in this rotation and did help to the big man game. But with Saric potentially being out for the entire 2022 season as well, the Suns needed to act fast and add somebody that could really make a difference. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that JaVale McGee is going to be the quote-unquote difference maker when it's all said and done. I do think he is going to make more of a difference than the typical NBA fan would see on a nightly basis. You guys, if you were one of the people who were waiting for the Phoenix Suns to get better over this offseason in terms of free agency signings and possible trades, I think it's pretty obvious now that this is not how the team wants to do it and they have a different picture in mind. With this picture quite clearly being the development of their young core that showed so much success throughout the 2021 campaign. As if no one was certain on the ages of some of Phoenix's youngest stars, let me refresh your memory that Phoenix has Mikal Bridges, who was a 3-and-D menace for the team and showed so much improvement over the year, who is still just 25 years old. Devin Booker, who is one of, if not the biggest rising star in the entire league right now at just 25 years old as well. Then, of course, the still very underrated and developing third star of this roster in DeAndre Ayton, who just hit 22 years old. This was a good portion of my team's young core that just showed monumental improvement over the course of a year and made an NBA Finals appearance. I think I'd be focused on continual development from these guys as well more than anything else. Sure, capitalizing on the moment that's in front of you is never a bad thing by any means. I really do think that Phoenix has done everything they could have this offseason to return with the best team possible. Some people in the NBA world might not see that, and I respect everybody's opinion, but all in all, that's just my 2 cents on it. However, that is enough of me talking because I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to think about this Phoenix Suns team and what they did over the offseason. So please go to the comments down below and let me know what you think the Phoenix Suns record will be in 2022, and on top of that, maybe even what playoff seed they'll finish up with and how far they will make it in the postseason. Again, it's a really interesting situation, and I think there's going to be a lot of different answers, so I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. Also, again, if you guys haven't yet, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and subscribe while you're down there. Literally cannot say it enough, you guys. Brand new NBA videos on a daily basis around here. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we got coming on the channel in the near future. But on that note, one last time, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate y'all more than anything in the entire world. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.